Listen to me. Whatever you do, protect yourself. And I don't give a damn how much you love him. Don't let anyone take your life, your money, or your man. Don't give that up.
I'm sorry, you're a man?
Keep one dangling.
What?
Look, you don't have to sleep with him.
I gotta say, Mrs. Roberta Porter, easily one of my favorite characters in the series, and she just showed up for the first time last night. Folks, I cannot do the scene justice. I highly recommend, if for whatever reason you have not watched last night's episode. Well, to be fair, I know there are a number of people who said they just don't watch the show anymore. They either tune in to me or other content creators to review the show, but if you haven't watched any of season 6, or maybe you quit watching a few weeks ago after Zach was, started acting the way he's been acting, let me try to get the timestamps here. Go to the episode and watch from the 33rd minute, so 33 to about, well, pretty much the end of the episode. So pretty much from the 33-minute mark to the last, what is it, like 7 minutes. Watch when Miss Porter is in there talking with Fatima and Andi about her relationship with her potential ex-husband, and it was just so well acted. I mean, this was easily one of my favorite scenes, like I said, of the entire series. When Miss Porter comes in there and pretty much breaks down, okay, here's why I'm getting a divorce, and she tells her story. And it's interesting because it starts off pretty much verbatim, just like Andi and Gary. And then it turns into Zach and Fatima's dynamic. And I really loved it. Because what this husband of hers is a black doctor, and it turns out that these two started seeing each other while he was still married, and he promised he was getting a divorce. And then that led to a bunch of crazy encounters with his ex-wife. Doesn't that sound like Andi's dealings with Gary and his ex-wife Jasmine? Then, of course, she mentions how he also had a ex on the side that he kept interacting with. She could tell that there were some feelings there, and there were about 3 different times where they, pretty much faced off, and it led to an assault charge. Sounds like Fatima, Zach, and Karen, doesn't it? So then over the years, it got to the point where they just realized they really weren't in love with each other anymore. So they were pretty much in a situation where they opted to stay together, but at the same time, they weren't together. They were pretty much free to do what they wanted with whoever they wanted. Not even their kids knew about it. Until one day, this man walks into the house saying that he wants to marry this young girl about 22 years old. And as a result of that, Roberta is like, no, I want a divorce and I want to take everything. And I'm just sitting here like, on the one hand, I'm like, damn, what a story. But then on the other, it's like, well, you kind of chose this. I mean, you chose to be in a loveless marriage for years. I mean, what, he's over 60 and she's about to turn 60 soon, and she just offers these words of wisdom to Andi and Fatima about, before you lock it down with a man, make sure he's the one, and I hope you don't get to my age wondering what the hell I'm doing. And it's just like, well, like I said, you kind of chose this. I mean, hell of a story. But I mean, even Roberta says, I feel like it's karma coming back for me because he was married when we started messing around. So yeah, it's karma. And it just has me going, yep, this could be the turning point where Andi decides to let Gary go once and for all, because we know she's eventually going to have a new love interest soon. And then with Zach and Fatima, well, these two are going to work things out. But, and I mentioned this in another video, here we go with Fatima looking at Miss Porter's marriage, seeing how it, well, almost beat for beat matches up with the Zach situation she has going on, especially with Karen on the side, and she wants to like give up on him. But I'm like, well, you two need to talk it out first. Not to mention the fact that at least you and Zach didn't start dating and whatnot when he was married or in a relationship with someone else. Remember, Karen had kicked him to the curb at that point. But when it comes to Mrs. Porter's situation, yeah, it's definitely like, hey, you two are sitting here right now, this is this is me. I'm future you. This is what you have to look forward to if you continue down the path that, you want to, the path you're currently going on. I am the bitch from Christmas Future. Hey, her words. They're like, hey, don't let the designer outfit fool you. I'm a real bitch under this. And I'm like, yep, that's Fatima, that tenacity right there, never back down attitude. But it just has me wondering, what happens next? I mean, I feel like if there's ever a time for these two to have that epiphany moment, this was it. And I feel like Andi's really going to take her words to heart. This isn't like what was her name? Was it Miss Irene, Paris's grandmother, who then was eventually written to be his mom? Remember the custodian lady who had some heart issues that Andi, helped take to the hospital and whatnot? She was giving Andi some good advice and wisdom, but she pretty much just ignored it and still kept messing around with Gary. But yeah, this woman here, like, this is like, hey, you keep fucking around and then you're going to end up like me. So you better watch who you, say you love. And that's that. But yeah, I honestly have nothing else to say aside from this was a phenomenal scene. Acting was on point. Even better was like, the fact that she was wearing an outfit very similar to Andi's, I felt was telling. And her demeanor and whatnot definitely had Fatima, vibes coming off it. But I really loved it. I felt like, she was giving off Whoopi Goldberg vibes. But at the same time, she was dropping truth bombs of wisdom on these two women. And I loved it. This is the kind of scene that I wish we could have gotten if, let's say, Andi's mom or somebody showed up to talk to one of their daughters to say, look, you messing around. Like, you need to get your head out the clouds and open your eyes to see what's right in front of you. Like, this man ain't no good for you, or this man is good, but you passed him over for this piece of trash, and the current path you're on right now is not going to lead anywhere fulfilling, and you're going to end up miserable. So this was a fantastic scene. It's definitely one, aside from Tamara's scene with Hayden, this scene alone boosted the episode several points because it was that good. So again, if you haven't been watching Sisters, Season 6, Episode 7, watch like the last 8 minutes of the episode. I promise you, you will not regret it. So, also, do you feel like Miss Porter has the right to try to divorce her husband and take everything, even though it's like, I guess because he went against the terms of their agreement, where it's like, you know what, instead of staying married, I'm just going to marry some, young thing as opposed to just having fun with her. So even though we've agreed that we're not in love for the past such and such a years, I don't know. I mean, you're the one that chose to stay through all this foolishness. I don't know. But yeah, let's talk. And also, she really broke down how the differences of, dating in her day versus dating now, about, men not really being hard workers and having options and whatnot. But at the same time, women, they post their bodies for attention and whatnot. They just put it all out there. So let's not act like the men are the only ones who are trash in this day's generation of dating. I'm just saying. But regardless, thanks so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. And also, I think somebody told me that the actress Sherry Richards, very familiar name. I'm pretty sure she was Ambition season 1, or the only season. What was her name? Pop's Diner? No, I'm thinking of the Wayans brothers. Shit. He played what was his name? Colonel on Meet the Browns, but he was the father in Ambitions, and she played his love interest. But yeah, Sherry Richards did her thing. And also somebody told me that she was a judge in All the Queen's Men, but she was killed off. So yeah, she came in Sisters and ate the scene. I loved it. So with that being said, thanks so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.